The management ledger at the Kennedy Center has just seen a major executive write-off. Today, Friday, March 13, 2026, President Trump announced that Ric Grenell is being replaced as the head of the Kennedy Center. He will be succeeded by Matt Floca, the center's current VP of Facilities Operations. This move comes as the institution, now controversially renamed the Trump Kennedy Center, prepares to shut down for 2 years of renovations. Grenell's tenure, which began in early 2025, was marked by what auditors call operational tumult, declining ticket sales, high-profile cancellations, and a total disconnect from the art world assets he was tasked to manage. As a CPA, I track resource allocation. President Trump often used Grenell as a Swiss Army knife, a loyalist sent in to solve creative problems. But in the world of arts management, Grenell reportedly came in with a sledgehammer. From an auditing perspective, he lacked the domain expertise required for the role. When you put a foreign affairs specialist in charge of a national symphony and his primary fundraising idea is to auction off conducting duties for $50,000, you are looking at a material misalignment of strategy. This campaign shtick approach didn't just fail to pay the bills. It created a massive goodwill impairment among the center's crown jewel assets, its musicians and artists. I'm Camilo Machado reporting for Thu News. As a certified public accountant, I evaluate management performance against industry standards. In any professional audit, if the CEO is secretive, avoids staff meetings, and works from a different state while ticket sales plummet, that is a failure of internal controls. Today we are auditing the Grenell ledger. We are looking at an interim leader who felt he was getting sloppy seconds while waiting for a State Department job, resulting in a leadership style that critics describe as pompous and combative. The most damning audit finding in Grenell's tenure is the state of the box office. Multiple sources confirmed that attendance was so low that the center had to paper the house, giving away free tickets to federal workers just to make the theaters look full. In accounting, this is a revenue recognition crisis. If you are giving away your product for free to hide a lack of demand, your business model is insolvent. Critics argue that by entrenching a nonpartisan institution in partisan politics, including a name change that is still being disputed in court, the administration created a market boycott. Artists refused to work with the center, and the shareholders, the ticket-buying public, effectively unsubscribed. In the world of corporate restructuring, when a flagship store is failing, management often closes it for renovations to stop the daily operating losses. The announcement that the Kennedy Center will close for 2 years is the ultimate strategic off-ramp. What's As a CPA, I see this as a way to stop the hemorrhaging. Every day the center remained open under Grenell's tumultuous leadership. It generated negative headlines and embarrassing attendance figures. By closing the doors for 2 years, the administration is effectively putting the impairment of brand equity on ice. It is a way to flee forward, remolding the institution in Trump's image while it is out of the public's daily sight. The choice of Matt Floca as Grenell's successor is a telling audit finding. Moving from a Swiss Army knife diplomat to the VP of Facilities Operations signals a shift from publicity and programming to asset maintenance. Trump reportedly grew sour on Grenell because he fumbled the publicity. As an auditor, I look at management by objective. Grenell's objective was to bring pizzazz and glamour, but he delivered niche programming that failed to pay the bills, as Grenell himself put it. Floca's appointment suggests the administration is abandoning the arts strategy in favor of a construction management phase. The sledgehammer is being replaced by a blueprint. Grenell's core thesis was that woke programming was killing the center's financials. However, his family-friendly and conservative-leaning alternatives didn't solve the revenue recognition problem. In professional auditing, if your alternative strategy results in papering the house with free tickets, your strategy is operationally insolvent. The challenge for the Kennedy Center wasn't just wokeism, it was the inability to attract top-tier artists who feared being labeled by the administration. This created a supply chain crisis of talent. You cannot run the finest facility of its kind in the world if the world's finest artists refuse to step onto your stage. The final audit of March 13, 2026 shows an institution in a state of identity default. The transition from Ric Grenell to Matt Floca is the closing chapter of a failed cultural takeover experiment. While Trump claims Grenell did an outstanding job, the decision to shut down for 2 years tells the real story. The current business model is broken. As a CPA, my verdict is that the Kennedy Center is currently a distressed asset. The upcoming renovation is a $100 million+ gamble to reset the brand. But as any auditor knows, changing the facade and the name doesn't fix a cultural deficit. When the doors reopen in 2028, will the Trump Kennedy Center be the finest facility in the world, or just a very expensive monument to a period of management malpractice? But I want to hear from you. Was Ric Grenell a Swiss Army knife or just a sledgehammer that broke a national treasure? Is a 2-year closure a genuine renovation or just a way to hide a failing business? Let me know in the comments. Your perspective is the only audit that matters when the lights go out on the national stage. I'm Camilo Machado, certified public accountant for Thu News. Subscribe to stay ahead of the management truth behind the headlines. Stay safe.